dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Good evening, where the sun is shining in Newcastle. Herman Mandalay, your best coach in March, along with the hottest team in the SLB. Manchester basketball strides into town. Winners out of their last 9 out of 10 games. The host, the Newcastle Eagles. On the other side of the spectrum, Coach Mark Studel looking to right the ship as they search for momentum as we approach the playoffs, as they drop 9 out of their last 10 games. Well, welcome inside Virtue Motors Arena. The Newcastle Eagles in the midst of 10 games in 23 days. And this is game number 51 for the Eagles. I'm your commentator, Drew Lasker, along with Ron Blaine. Ron, we have some compassion for the Eagles talking about their schedule, but one team that doesn't, the Manchester basketball could care less.
Yeah, Manchester basketball is a team that has been on fire since the month of March, and they continue with their wins as this game comes along.
Well, there goes your coaches right there as the players gear up, get loose, and ready to go. But in the meantime, let's take a look what's happening around the league. Lots of action in the SLB as we enter the meat and potatoes of the season. Popping up on your screen right there, you see it. London Lions with a big win over Bristol Flyers as they inch closer towards a league title across town. The Leicester Riders in a must-win against Surrey if they're going to keep their title hopes alive. And we got Good Friday action Saturday. We got even action on Easter Sunday as well. We're gonna keep you entertained here in the SLB. Monday Fun Day, we wrap things up as the Newcastle Eagles host the Bristol Flyers. Well, we say all of that to take you here to the league table. And as we inch closer, there's 3 teams, Ron. Ironically, the top 3 teams, no European basketball, but as we look at the bottom, 3 out of those 4 teams, Bristol, Newcastle, and Caledonia, have played in Europe. Is that a coincidence?
Yeah, it's a big contrast. Obviously, it's a lot to ask for of those bottom teams right now, looking at their current standings. But, I mean, they're playing in Europe for a reason. They're trying to elevate themselves in the future there, so you can't knock them for that. But, yeah, those top 3 teams are in great form right now. But Manchester's the team to look out for, and we got a great show incoming tonight in Virtue Motors Arena.
Well, if you're new to our league and you want to know how it operates as we close in on the playoffs, we got you. Check out our championship explainer.
The Super League Basketball Championship. The ultimate competition and a chance to compete for superiority against the best in the land. A round-robin league format played across 23 weeks. All 9 SLB franchises will compete against each other 4 times, home and away. The team with the best record after 32 games will be crowned Super League Basketball champions, whilst the top 8 teams will all progress to the postseason playoffs.
Well, the top 8 teams out of the 9 franchises in the SLB make it to the playoffs, but earlier I got a chance to catch up with the head honchos, the coaches, Mark Studel of the Newcastle Eagles. But first, Herman Mandalay of Manchester basketball. Coach, winners out of 9 out of your last 10 games, and you talk a lot about consistency. Specifically, what parts of your game are you talking about to keep this run going?
Everything. At the end of the day, you got to play in both ends. I think we are doing well, but we can be satisfied right now. So we gotta keep improving in all the situation, defense, offense, sharing the ball. We gotta try to be the same team for 40 minutes. I know it's not easy, but I think our job as a staff is try to push the player to do the best all the time. Don't be relaxed.
And since you arrived, it's been clear that your ethos has been about defense. But your offense, you've averaged 5 more points a game. How have you been able to maximize this group?
I mean, we like to play fast. I think we like to increase the pace. I believe a lot in the analytics. And I think our offensive rating and our defensive rating is getting better and better, and our net rating overall is better. So we gotta keep doing the same, and we have to try to improve, those numbers.
And down the stretch, Ashton Langford has been terrific. He's almost like an extension of you.
Yeah, I mean, always the point guard. I play a lot for the playmakers. I don't used to have the real point guard for the playmakers, and right now in my starter five, the second playmaker is Donovan Mitchell. So at the end of the day, you have the shot, you have the ball. If you're open, you gotta take the shot. If not, just keep playing to find the best shot.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you.
Coach, the narrative has been the travel, the amount of games, but knowing you personally, we know that you're not going to let that be an excuse. So what is it that your team needs to do to get out this funk?
Yeah, we need to get healthy for sure. We need to try and get healthy, and we're trying to work hard on that. And it's a balance with the schedule and what's looming in the near future. But yeah, we have to play better for sure. We probably have to be a little bit more consistent emotionally, I think. A little bit more consistent with execution of what we're trying to do. Try to strip things back, simplify things, play with a bit of confidence. Hopefully we get some signs tonight.
You faced Manchester just less than a week ago. When you looked at that film, what part of your game did you feel like you need to clean up going into tonight?
Yeah, I mean, that was a schedule loss, and no disrespect to Manchester, they played well, but the European stuff 48 hours before killed us. So yeah, I was proud of my guys, and difficult to say that on a 30-point loss. I thought Sunday we played better basketball for longer periods against Sheffield. Tonight, we've had a chance to kind of refresh a little bit, and hopefully, we see some improvements.
And talk about health. I know you would love to piece that health together along with Trey Pulliam's play over the last 4 games, averaging 16 points. What's been different with him?
Yeah, I mean, Trey is a really smart player. He, really wants to find his teammates, get his teammates involved. Teams are starting to key on him a little bit, so we're trying to kind of manipulate some of our spacing. So hopefully we get him more efficient touches. But yeah, Trey's great to work with, cares about winning. Hopefully these next few games we're able to see some improvements and put ourselves in a good position moving forward.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you very much.
Ron, there's something about Coach Mandalay that just oozes big time.
Yeah, I mean, Coach Mandalay has done a great job since he stepped up for this Manchester basketball organization in early February, and he's basically improved this roster and made them play the way they're playing right now. So big shout out to him right now.
Well, a guy that he talked about was an extension of himself is that man right there, Ashton Langford, the only Manchester player to feature in all 28 games this season.
Yeah, Ashton Langford is a problem, Drew. Honestly, he plays with so much passion, so much poise. He's been the leader and the carrier of this team the entire season. He doesn't have to do it all on his own, though. But when he has to, he takes over games, and he makes it look very easy. As you see there, nice, easy spin, get downhill to the rim. Plays on both ends as well, can guard the ball. And also, at the end of the game, there's that guy who they go to.
With his size, how is he able to continue to get into the crease of the defense?
I mean, just his speed alone. He plays he plays with a lot of speed and a lot of passion, and his creativity off the dribble. He can knock down the 3 balls. We saw here last Friday night in Virtu, and I think this is a place that he's very comfortable in.
Well, for the Newcastle Eagles, perfect time, perfect plays. Trey Pulliam playing some of the best basketball of his season.
Yeah, Trey Pulliam is another guard in this league that can wreak havoc on any defense that he faces up against. Very crafty, very shifty guard that can keep you off balance and put the ball in the basket. I mean, lately we've seen him come to life with his 3-ball, as we see here, knocking it down consistently. That was something in his game that team started to scout and he paid attention to, and we've been able to see him as of late knock down more 3s, which has opened up his dribble drive and his ability to get downhill.
Well, one thing about him, he's that get-out-of-jail card. If the shot clock's winding down, he got a little shake and bake to his game.
Yeah, I mean, I like to call him Mr. Hezzy himself. He keeps you off balance with that hesitation, and he's able to put the defenders on his hips and put the ball in the basket.
Well, here's the Newcastle Eagles home crowd on this Easter weekend, spending time with us here at Virtu Motors Arena. But let's take a look at the rosters, starting off with the home team, the Newcastle Eagles. Malcolm Delpeche still out with that knee injury, but then again, another miss from Seneca Knight.
Yeah, it's sad to see. Seneca Knight is obviously dealing with, I'm pretty sure, a toe injury that's kept him sidelined for a few weeks here. But also the absence of Delpeche has come crucial to this Newcastle Eagles team, and hoping to see those guys back on the floor soon. Well, in Seneca Knight's turn, see him back on the floor soon.
Well, there's your Newcastle Eagles. How about the visitors? Manchester basketball. Let's take a look the same roster that rolled up in town 6 days ago, who came here and won by 31 points. Just an impressive roster.
And what I would like to acknowledge here is they're all healthy. Manchester basketball is healthy right now, and they are peaking at the right time. Winners of 9 of their last 10 games, and no better start to keep that streak rolling than this event this evening.
Well, it's almost game time here in Virtue Motors Arena. Coach Herman Mandalay along with Mark Studel going head-to-head in the coaches' battle. Manchester leads the series so far 2-1 this season after Manchester picked up a huge 31-point victory here on Friday. The narrative with the Newcastle Eagles have been the schedule. 10 games in 23 days and have just won 1 of those matches in their last 10. Well, the Newcastle Eagles in the black stripe, the Newcastle Eagles in the Chicago Bulls pinstripe, Ron.
Yeah, I love the pinstripes. It reminds me of the Yankees. I love that you went Bulls, but it reminds me of the Yankees from New York. But either way, it's pretty clean.
Well, it is baseball season for, I know Rob Paternostro is a baseball fan here, but as we begin to tip things off here in Newcastle, it's Manchester basketball versus the Newcastle Eagles. Zohore matched up against Cole Long on the tip. Things kick off with Manchester. Ashton Langford off of Zohore ball screen. Mitchell pulls up, tough shot. Great defense by the Eagles.
Great opening possession there by the Eagles on defense. A contested jumper, something that you like to see to start this basketball game.
Here's Allen Ikens looking to bounce back from that game there on Sunday below his personal standards. Got a mismatch down low with Langford, flips it up, and that's the way to start a ball game. That's
definitely the way. Love the patience there by Allen Ikens. Been the same player all year, doesn't rush anything, and got the mismatch that he wanted.
Well, Coach Mandalay talked about pace with this offense, which has led to 5 more points a game since he's taken over. As Ashton Langford drives and kicks to Kayo. But here's Zohore with the offensive rebound, and we'll stay here.
And that's a good offense there by Manchester basketball. Coach Mandalay, to my recollection, wants these guys taking more threes, shooting more threes, and you can tell in their offensive strategy.
Nice roll by Zohore. Sees a triple team, gets his pockets ripped. Here's Pulliam. Back over to Akaru, who's met by Zohore. I'm sure he loves this matchup right here. But that is a very large individual right there.
Yeah, it's hard to see over somebody that tall, honestly, Drew. But a tough shot there by Akaru early. Could have found something better, but that's his game. That's what he does best, is make big-time shots. So I'm sure Coach Studel won't be disappointed with it.
Well, as we enter the first 3 possessions for Manchester, it's been about the Newcastle Eagles defense as Allen Ikens gets a deflection. Mitchell flips it over to Zohore. And Mitchell again gets his own offensive rebound. And here's Zohore, and finally, Ward Hibbert collects the rebound.
Yeah, a little bit of there's a lid on that basket down there for Manchester early. A couple good offensive rebounds there for him, but just unable to finish the play.
Well, the Eagles, we talked about that schedule. It's only been 4 days, but, you know, this is a lifeline for them as Akaru comes up short.
Yeah, this is already making out to be a defensive style game.
Well, one guy you can't leave open is that fella there, DJ Mitchell.
Great shot there by DJ Mitchell. But you can tell both coaches have game planned properly for this game tonight.
Allen Ikens. Back into Pulliam, who hits long on the wing. Misses left.
Manchester with the rebound and off to running.
Here's Kayo back to playing some of his best basketball of the season. Ashton Langford. KO skips around, sees a double team, and again, great defense by the Eagles.
Great defense by the Eagles. Way to rotate. They rotated as a unit there, which caused havoc for the Manchester basketball. But you got to give credit there to Manchester. They are swinging the ball and putting Newcastle in closeout situations that can be kind of worrisome in the long call of this game.
Well, the positive news for the Eagles, there seems to be a lot more sense of urgency on the defensive side of the ball than there was 6 days ago when they gave up 100 points.
That is true.
Gord Hibbert steps around. Eagles back in front. Zohore really showing off the passing skills here last week. Gets to the left sweeping hook, but he is fouled by Allen Aikens.
And that's a foul that the Newcastle hopeful were not looking for.
Well, Allen Aikens has proven this season that he can guard bigger players. Just a really versatile defender and offensive player this season.
Yeah, agreed. His ability to be able to stretch out, not only guard guards, but also be physical enough to guard bigs. Even though he's not as big as Zohore is. I mean, it's not many people in this league that are big as Zohore. Let's pay knowledge to that. But yeah, he did a decent job there besides the foul.
Well, Zohore, when you look at the stats since he's entered the Manchester's lineup, they don't blow you away, but you don't find many 7-footers walking and chewing gum on the street, who, by the way, also who's skillful.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I'm sure he's a pleasure to coach, and he's a very good big in this league. He plays the right way, most importantly.
Well, Manchester got the traveling away fans and have brought the flags in the building. I don't know how that got through security.
I think they probably rolled it up just so that they didn't see it.
Put it in the back pocket, huh? Well, here's Newcastle, down 1, as 4 minutes has gone here at Virtue. Crowd counting down the shot clock for Deshaun, and he tries to rise up over Del Pesh.
Yeah, I mean, you know Del Pesh is a shot blocker. You got to come in there with some ferocity in order to limit that. Try to draw that foul, if not make the bucket.
Well, Ashton Langford, a little shake and bake, gets to the right hand, fades, no. Again, another offensive rebound. This time it's Irvin.
Yeah, and that's already been a cause of concern here early for the Eagles. They've surrendered at least 3 or 4 offensive rebounds to start this first quarter.
Well, here's Long, somehow just kind of throws it up with the left hand.
Well, what's the saying? Drew, good offense, be good defense.
All day long, we got a travel called here on Kayo. I mean, the energy just feels a lot different in the building, along with the players on the court than it did last Friday.
Yeah, I mean, it's a different. What a week, a difference a week makes. Yeah. Honestly, like the rest probably was a big factor in that for the Eagles. Obviously, with a long week last week of traveling. And they come into this game with a lot more energy.
What do you say to the fans that, are novice and are saying, hey, they're just playing basketball. You've been sleeping in a nice hotel. You've been flying. You played a couple of games. That's what you want to do. Why are you so tired?
I mean, it's more that meets the eye than just that. Honestly, it wears on you, on your body a lot. I mean, you just ask yourself, how do you feel when you travel from one part of the country to another part or to another city? It takes a lot out of you.
That's how I feel when I would travel down to Plymouth. It takes like 3 days to recover from that trip, as Ashton Langford is wrapped up by Pulliam.
Curious to whether or not that's going to be a shot or not.
Well, it will be a baseline out of bounds, as Pulliam with a great job in taking the foul there, stopping the momentum from Manchester. 7 points on the board there, and Ashton Langford is slowly getting on my radar for Team of the Year this year. Just playing excellent.
I agree, Drew. He's a really good basketball player and really good for this team. He fits them so well.
Well, Mitchell unwinds for his second triple of the night.
Mitchell's one of those guys that if he sees one go in, that basket becomes a hula hoop. It just gets bigger and bigger.
Well, James has to understand the scouting report a little bit better than that. You'd like him to be a little bit closer to Mitchell, who's 6'9" and who can rises over any defender. Pulling with that shake and bake we talked about.
Yeah, he likes to dance. He tells you to come have this dance, and he gets to it.
Pulliam with his first bucket of the night, but
It's something I noticed last week. I was as a spectator. The Ashton Langford and the Trey Pulliam series continues. They go at it every single time. If one scores, the other feels as though they have to score back.
well, Alan Aikens looking to respond from outside and doesn't. Manchester on the loose, looking for their biggest lead of the night. Mitchell looking for his third triple.
And if you're Coach Mandalay, you like that look. That's playing with pace. That's getting a good open shooter who just knocked down 2 threes, another open shot.
Well, this is an interesting matchup. I thought it was a switch, but there's 2 possessions that Mitchell's been matched up with Pulliam, as we have a loose ball foul here on KO.
As Cody John checks in and Kyle Carey checks in for Manchester basketball.
Well, how about those 2 guys off the bench last week, providing the bench spark and double figures for an already talented team in Manchester?
Yeah, last Friday, Kyle Carey shot the ball really well, 5 of 8 and 3 of 6 from 3, which is a great performance off the bench.
Beautiful Hezo move by Pulliam, who finds the cutting Akaru. The Bulls, Del Pesh steps around.
That's great patience there by Del Pesh and a great pass. Again, they're playing with so much pace. They know this Eagles lineup is a bit wounded and a bit short.
Well, James getting down to his block, his favorite spot. Manchester throws a double at him. Get it out of his hands. Again, shot clock down to 6 here. Intercepted by Carey. And he is fouled by Akaru, and that's that bench spark that we talked about.
Yeah, they come in with fresh legs and immediately hit the green light on this team.
Yeah, just a telegraph pass there by the Eagles, and Mark Studel can kind of feel a little bit of the momentum shift. Don't want to allow this game to get out of hand, and he calls for time.
That's a great take there by Kyle Carey, as you see on the replay. Anticipated the steal, got in the passing lane, and got to an easy foul.
I mean, Kyle Carey is really have been rejuvenated. Spent a bulk of the season there glued to the bench. Coach Mandalay comes and he gets an opportunity, but he seizes it.
Yeah, I've had a conversation with Kyle actually last night, and he was basically just enlightening me on how he's improved since this Coach Mandalay has been put into charge, and how he feels like he has an opportunity now, and again, he wants to seize every opportunity that he's been presented with.
Well, that's all about the pros. You never know when you're going to get an opportunity, but when you do, you better pounce on it, as we see Seneca Knight there dealing with a foot injury, and boy, the Newcastle Eagles could use him during the stretch of all of these games. Well, Manchester leads 15-10 as we're inside the final 3 minutes in Newcastle. Manchester, their final 4 games of the season, while the Eagles, with their final 5, Coach Mandalay, the guy we've been talking about, spent the early season coaching Series A in Italy, so they don't just hand out those type of jobs.
Yeah, no, I think he was somebody that was well deserving of this position, and he's shown it with his immediate impact on this program.
Well, Kyle Carey, who we saw here last week, 13 points off the bench, most importantly, 3 threes, and again, providing that bench spark for Manchester.
Interesting there. I thought that last foul was going to be on Mike Akaru, but seems that they gave it to Christian James instead. James and Pulliam both on 1 foul.
Well, here's Long trying to go up against Del Pesh, and he should be used to it. He goes against his brother most of the practice this season.
That is very true.
Here's the Bulls left open. Outstretched arm of Defoe comes up empty.
Good hands there by the boys.
Wow, the Bulls on the ground. And that's the type of effort that is a reflection of the head coach.
That is true.
DeBose spending half of the year with the Gladiators, getting released, but has found a home here in Manchester. You see it there. Look at that.
That's good effort there. That's effort that you love
My
to coach.
hip hurt watching that.
No, same.
Well, that effort has led to a Newcastle ball as Effigy comes into the lineup. Manchester with a plethora of fives. He's the third string big man coming off the bench. Cody John. Irving. James, no numbers. Still in attack mode. Skips to the rim and count the bucket.
It's a good recognition of a one-on-one with Kyle Carey that Christian James took full advantage of.
He just has a great ability of getting fouled, but also being able to use that size of his.
Yeah, I think Kyle Carey underestimated that extra burst that he had as well.
Yeah.
And he was able to keep him off balance and draw that foul, that and one.
Christian James out of Houston, Texas, able to complete the three-point play as the Eagles pull within 2 points. Skipped out to John. Great extra pass there. Great defense by the Eagles. Here's John.
And the Eagles are sitting in the zone right now.
And another offensive rebound by Manchester. And look who it is on the end of an offensive foul, Mr. 28.
That is a great charge right there taken by Darius Defoe. Not sure Coach Mandalay actually agrees with that one, but a cause for concern here once again is the offensive rebounds given up, but a bailout call there made and a great charge taken by Darius Defoe.
Well, Defoe, was he in the restricted area is the question there.
It's all right, man. That's a vet call. You earned it.
Well, speaking of vet, in year number 21, and although the age meter is rising, it seems as though the anticipation skills remain, as again, this time it's Carey nearly picking up a steal. The Eagles just a little bit loosey-goosey with the ball.
Yeah, Kyle Carey saw an opportunity and took advantage of it, pounced on that.
Here's Money Mike with a beautiful move, but unable to finish. And this is Carey. Wow.
Wow.
Wow. We have an unsportsmanlike call here, which Coach Studel is in disgust, and I think I might have to agree with him here.
Yeah, that's a tough call to make there. But it has to be.
Let's take another look at this. Did he go for the ball? Well, when you look at it from there, he never made an attempt at the basketball, and that's the rules.
That is the
unsportsmanlike. So, actually, fantastic call by the referee there. And that guy, Coach Mandalay, I'm sure he's not going to dispute it.
Not at all. More credit to Kyle Carey, though. I mean, he's playing great defensively. That's another rebound and another opportunity for him to get more points on the board for himself.
Well, unsportsmanlike rules and regulations, you get 2 free throws and the ball, so an opportunity for a 5-point possession, maybe even 6. Here's DeBose. And this time, this is another foul on Long. And I'm pretty sure he will have to take a seat after picking 2 fouls in less than 6 seconds.
Yeah, and then again, that depth for the Eagles now becomes another big part of the concern here, because you look down on that roster, you see a lot of disabled bodies not able to compete here tonight. And Manchester's just subbing very, very frequently to try to keep this pace up that Coach Mandalay has instilled in them.
Well, not only that, you give a very talented offensive team a gift there at the free throw line with 4 attempts.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken right now, Manchester's perfect from the free throw line.
7 for 7 so far. And that's what they call a commentator's curse.
You know, I've been on the wrong end of that before, but actually doing it, it feels kind of weird. But you are 100% correct. Sorry about that, Mr. DuBois.
Well, out of all of that, Manchester was able to squeeze out 3 points as we enter a minute of game time here in the first quarter. James bulldozing his way to the cup, and again, he's fouled, this time on Carey. Christian James, he's had a couple of games this season where you can you feel the aura, you see he has that look in his eye.
Yeah, definitely. You can see it in pregame, honestly. He comes out with tenacity and plays with aggression like he is right now, then it's a long day for the defense.
Christian James able to get the friendly roll on the first attempt. Both teams now in the bonus, with Cole Long being the only suspect in foul trouble with 2. Here comes Manchester. Skipped over to John, who lets it fly. And Kyle Carey just right place, right time.
He's having himself a day right now. I think Kyle Carey's up to 6 or 7 points, 6 points right now off the bench.
We talked about that bench spark for Newcastle, and this time it's Kyle Carey on the defensive end.
Hey, man.
Goes down quite easily.
He's having himself a day right now. Playing on both ends of the floor, getting steals, taking charges, offensive rebounds. He's doing all the dirty work.
Well, if you want to get in the good books of a coach, you make plays like that. Textbook.
Yeah, and that was an obvious charge as Allen Ickes dropped that shoulder. That is his second foul as well. So enters Josh Ward-Hibbert for the Eagles.
Well, we talked about the lack of personnel for the Eagles, and you can add foul trouble of 2 of their players to the list as the Bulls comes off the FJ screen, and that will be his second, if I'm not mistaken. FJ with 2 fouls here in the first quarter as the foul count starting to tick up.
Yeah, I mean, you see that happen kind of often, Drew. Is that on DuBois there for not waiting on FJ, or is that on FJ for extending that shoulder, that chicken wing out, as they call it?
Yeah, I didn't see it in real time, but if he stuck that out, that hip out, which most big men do, you got to give that to FJ. But if he didn't get there in time, that always goes on the point guard as Ward-Hibbert opened things up from beyond the arc for the Eagles. And Coach Mandalay not wasting any time calling for time.
No, it's in the quarter,
Oh, excuse me. Wow.
Yeah, flies by.
It flies by when you're having fun.
Yeah,
well, that will do it after
by.
10 minutes here in Newcastle as the Eagles with 19 and Manchester basketball with 22. And from the Eagles' perspective, you got to feel a lot more positive about those first 10 minutes than you were 6 days ago.
Yeah, a lot more positive. Obviously, the intensity is there, and the intent is there this week. They have way more fresh legs, and they come out with and shown that in this first quarter. But a lot more work to do against this great Manchester team.
Well, Manchester will not stop coming. We've seen the plethora of bodies they have there on the bench. We've seen the talent, and, you know, for the Newcastle Eagles, how do they overcome, you know, the scheduling, the lack of bodies, lack of sleep, the games? Because at the end of the day, all the fans look at is the win and loss column.
Yeah, and it's a hard task to do, honestly, but it just starts with getting back to the basics of what was given to this team. Or I would say, just talk to this team in the beginning stages of the season. It's a team that obviously is very battle-tested and can fight and won't stop fighting. So,
well, there's their stats right there. Manchester only 35%, but it was the threes that was able to keep them, but then the rebounding battle, Ron.
Yeah, I mean, and I think 5 of those, if I'm not mistaken, were offensive rebounds. So Manchester can be hang their hat on that right now, and Newcastle on the other end has to adjust to that and come in and fix that in the second quarter.
Well, so far tonight, it's the bench points where Manchester dominated last week. 54 points off the bench, and already Kyle Carey, you see it there with 6 of those early.
Yeah, he's the leading scorer right now for this Manchester basketball team. He's came in and had an instant spark and an instant impact on this game and left his handprint on this game as well.
Newcastle Eagles, Ward Hibbert and Christian James and Long chipping in with 4 points.
But see, the thing that concerns me for the Eagles right now, Drew, is Manchester went 10 deep in that first quarter. 10 guys have touched the floor already for Manchester, and now their starters are back on the floor.
Well, there goes your Manchester bench right there. We'll call them reinforcements.
Oh, yeah, they are definitely reinforcements.
Well, we're just making sure the shot clock is tidied up here in Newcastle. And as we try to get things tidied up here in Newcastle, it feels like that happens once a game here.
Oh, it definitely does. I'm so used to it at this point. That's just part of the game.
Well, we're back to action, and Pulliam is pulling the strings for the Eagles.
I kind of like that. Pulling the strings.
Here's Akaru. Getting downhill with that first step. But DeBoe's able to hold his ground.
And Michael Caro has not produced a basket here yet for the Eagles, so hopefully the lid on the basket comes off for him very soon.
Well, James pulls up from 3, and Studel applauding that attempt there. Here's Zahore. Steps around, great defense by Defoe with the quick hands.
Yeah, Darius makes a living doing that.
Coach Studel there. I mean, this guy's spinning a lot of plates. European basketball, domestically, along with Team GB, by the way, who will be in Eurobasket this summer.
Yeah, he's the man built for the job, honestly. Done a great job with both. And just have to get this team to the postseason and see what comes from it.
Well, Mitchell loses it there, and ball will stay here as Eagles had the ball out of the first quarter, and again, it's Mandalay not liking what he saw from that possession there, and he's on top of things.
Yeah, he is. He's a really good coach. You can tell he's been here before. Curious to see what out of timeout set he draws from this specific timeout for this situation.
Well, it's only 1.2 seconds on the clock, so whatever it is, it's got to either be a heave or a tip at the rim. Well, I talked about those bench points last week. Manchester winning that battle 54-16, and so far they win it at 9-4.
Yeah, I mean, it just speaks to the depth that they have over there at Manchester basketball. They utilize all of their guys. Again, 10 people within the first 10 minutes of this game have already touched the floor. I think that says a lot.
Well, Coach Mandalay said he wanted to play fast. 7 points off of fast break points.
As the half-court shot fails again in Virtu, sadly. But again, yes, to your point, the Manchester basketball, the way they outlet the basketball after make or miss is very key to those transition buckets and those fast break points.
Well, let's see what Mandalay has in the locker here. 1.2. It's not a lot of options in the playbook, but
it's a screen coming for either Du Bois or from KO there. You can see how they're setting up.
Maybe a tip at the rim for Zahore.
And there it is.
Whereas, I don't know what Kayo was thinking there. I'm sure Coach just mentioned that there's 1.2. Here's the play. And Kayo operated as if he had a fresh 14.
Yeah, that's a mistake that they're going to get onto him about in film for sure, but got to let it go. Next play mentality.
Well, Pulliam seeing a little bit pressure from Ashton Langford. Something this Manchester defense has brought in with Mandalay at the helm. Here's Defoe over the outstretched Zohore. Great defense by Manchester.
Ashton Langford just glides past defenders.
And here's Mitchell.
My goodness.
Who's cleaning up the loose ends at the rim.
Oh my. Well, that play would be featured in the plays of the week for sure.
I'm sure it'd be squeezed in there somewhere. I mean, Mitchell, not known for his, athleticism, but really showing off his length there on that possession. James running out of time here, looking to go at Kayo, drops it off to Akara, who gets his first bucket of the night.
And that's good patience there by Christian James. Way to have your head on a swivel. A good finish by Mike.
Well, the offensive rebound becoming a real issue for the Eagles. So far, Manchester with 8.
That's a lot to give up in a half. That's something that will definitely be addressed between Coach Studel and his assistants at the halftime break.
And it makes it even worse when the other team has 0.
Yeah. Those are just extra effort plays that give you extra possessions.
Great ball movement from Manchester, who leaves Ashton Langford wide open, and he ain't gonna miss too many of those.
Nah, he's gonna make you pay, but that's a great extra by Kayo. Kayo could have easily shot that mid-range jump shot, but turned it down and passed to an open teammate in Ashton Langford.
Here's Ward Hibbert. Working in the center, takes the long way around, but ball rims out. Pitch up pass to Mitchell, over to Kayo. Down inside, but stolen by Long.
Again, though, the pace of which they get the ball up the floor is just ferocious by Manchester.
Those are turnovers that you can live with if you're Manchester. Aggressive ball movement at the rim, but on the other hand, here's Pulliam. This time he's fouled.
Yeah, the intent is there, to say the least, for Manchester. Great attack there by Trey Pulliam, though.
Mitchell trying to get a little old school wraparound steal that you see kind of at the park. Ward Hibbert with great position.
And their ability to move on closeouts without fouling is causing havoc here for the Eagles.
Well, here's Defoe with the rare 3, and it looked good. Mitchell gets his pockets picked by Ward Hibbert.
Way to get back into the play by Josh Ward Hibbert, which gave Michael Carrill a full head of steam to get that easy transition layup.
And again, another turnover by Manchester. 4-on-1 opportunity for the Eagles. Here's Long, steps around, takes the contact by Kayo, and he will go to the line for 2. Great couple of possessions there for the Eagles.
Yeah, way to wall up in transition there, which led to the transition foul there taken there by Kayo. But again, defense leading the offense for the Eagles. That's something Coach Studel has to be proud of right now. They're fighting in this game.
Great little drop-off pass there from Akaru, but if you're gonna play fast, they come. Turnovers come with the territory. Manchester with 8 so far here tonight.
As Cole Long knocks down the first one.
Eagles doing a great job of just hanging around, down 2. Crowd chants for defense. Mitchell attacks downhill, running out of real estate, flips it over. Great defense by Long.
Great defense there by Cole Long, especially without fouling. Manchester knows that he's on 2 fouls, so they're trying to attack him and isolate him.
Eagles with an opportunity to regain the lead. Offense stagnant on this possession here, but their money man, Micah Carew, bails them out.
Yeah, and that was an easy call to make. The referee had a great positioning on that call. Micah Carew, late shot clock is what he does best.
Micah Carew, all of a sudden, has woken up into this game. 6 points after going scoreless after the first 10 minutes, and there's Coach Mandalay giving instructions there to the Manchester bench.
Yeah, and that's good signs for Micah Carew. Obviously, the first couple shots didn't go his way, but he stuck at it, and he's already sitting at a team high of 7.
I mean, he can score in bunches, can he?
Yeah, he can.
I mean, we will never forget that Valentine's Day performance.
Yeah, he put on one for the books.
Eagles showing a little pressure. Here's Ashton Langford. John from downtown.
And Zahir's doing a good job of setting these screens and rolling, but they got to feed him every now and then. Because he's getting that easy position on the Eagles, but they're not making him pay for it.
Well, James stepping around, using his strength, and you can count that as he flexes his muscles.
Big time move there by Christian James. Again, once he gets a full head of steam, he's very hard to stop.
I mean, the footwork that he possesses to be able to just tiptoe in the paint and step around defenders is, you see there, the deceleration.
Yeah, man.
Reminds you of someone else in our league.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Rye himself.
That is right.
For sure.
Great at just slowing the body down. I always struggle with that. When I was in 5th gear, there was no slowing down.
It's hard to get you out of it. No, I know. I'm the same way, in all honesty.
I don't know if my knees can handle going from 100 to 0 like that.
It's a skill. It's definitely a gift that he has.
Well, don't look now. The Eagles lead here by 3, but Ashton Langford right on time answers right back.
And the Eagles are sitting in the 2-3 zone, which is going to give up a lot of threes, which is, again, what Manchester is wanting.
James sees a double. Great hands there by, you guessed it, Carey. Ashton Langford doing a lot of his work from outside the arc.
So poised, just waiting for the defense to show him a look.
And Irvin steps out of bounds.
We're all knotted up here at 30 at Virtue right now, with a lot at stake for both teams.
Manchester got their eyes on 4th place, and Newcastle, if they don't get their act together, could fall all the way down to 8th. Who would have thought that in February, when Coach Studel was Coach of the Month and Carew was the Player of the Month? And Long just really never got his feet set to make that post-entry pass to take advantage of that mismatch.
Yeah, a good idea there from Long, though. Just didn't deliver the proper pass. Unfortunate, but you have to keep playing.
Eagles back in man defense. As Ashton Langford dumps it down to Del Pesh, who finishes with the left hand.
And sadly, Cole Long knows he cannot make that play a little bit harder for Del Pesh in order to not pick up that 3rd foul, so an easy layup there for Del Pesh. Great look by Ashton Langford as well.
Carew getting down to that right hand, loses it. Great defense by Irvin. Here's Manchester.
And more threes, more threes, more threes.
And more offensive rebounds for Manchester as Irvin able to hook it in.
Yeah, this team is playing really, really well. I love the way they share the basketball. It's not just a one-man show for Manchester basketball.
Irvin doing some of the dirty work there as Manchester on a 7-0 run here, and Mark Studel just want to talk things over, don't want it to spiral out of control as we get to the half. You see the rebounding battle there. Wow.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that I'm sure they hang their hat on. And again, it has to be spoken about at halftime if the Eagles want to find their way winning this ball game.
Well, we are live from Virtue Motors Arena here on DAZN, where the fans spending their time with us on this Easter weekend. You got any plans this weekend?
I need to go and buy my missus a Easter egg, but hopefully she didn't hear that because I was going to be a surprise. So if she is watching, sorry, I just blew the surprise. But yeah, that's about it. Maybe a Sunday roast dinner.
Are you an Easter egg guy?
No, not at all, sadly. I used to be when I was younger, though. I love the Easter egg hunt, but I told her that actually yesterday. I prefer an Easter egg hunt than just receiving a nice Easter egg. But needless to say, I'll be going to M&S or Marks and Spencer's, as you guys call it.
Oh, okay.
And doing a little Easter egg shopping.
Wow, premium Easter eggs.
Oh, it's premium.
Wow.
It's premium. It's premium.
Wow. Okay. Well,
it's a once a year. It's a once a year holiday. You got to go all out. It's kind of like Valentine's Day. No, I'm joking. It's not that big.
Well, back to the action where Newcastle down 4 points. 3:35 here remaining in championship action as James is left alone and can't take advantage.
Yeah, miscue there by the Giants on by the Manchester basketball on defense. And they were able to.
Ashton Langford looking for his third three of the night. Rebounded by James. Inside to Allen Ikens, who has a smaller defender on him. But James looking to go, and this time knocks it down.
It's a big-time shot there. Great patience there by the Eagles. Ball went inside out first, and good things usually happen when that is the case.
Christian James gets into double figures. Cody John answers right back.
Man, the Manchester basketball offense is on fire right now. They're setting nice pin downs, great actions to get their players open.
Pulliam, this matchup we talked about, him and Ashton Langford, but this time Ashton Langford wins it 5-on-1 opportunity, and that'll probably be the easiest offense all night by Manchester.
And quietly, Del Pesh is again perfect from the field. Last week he was 6 of 6, and right now I think he's 3 for 3. So he's pretty perfect here in Virtue.
Well, James trying to answer back somehow. Ward Hibbert's on the receiving end of that first Newcastle Eagles offensive rebound.
But they waste no time in getting that ball down to the other end of the floor.
Well, Del Pesh hit 2 threes on Sunday, and that one looked good.
It did look good. I love the rotation. I love the confidence just to shoot it, not even think about it.
James can't finish.
Again,
just like that, Ashton Langford just walks himself to the rim. Poor defense from the Eagles.
I mean, I wish we had a stopwatch for how fast they are moving that ball from the other end, the opposing team's basket to their own, because it is in a blink of an eye.
Well, right back at you as Pulliam gets downhill.
Pay attention to those two, Drew. Those two, when one scores, the other one feels it's necessary to return the favor. It's something I caught wind of last Friday night.
Well, here's Ashton Langford right back at you.
Again, and let's see how Trey Pulliam responds. Great look-ahead pass.
Well, he makes the simple play, and Ward Hibbert smokes the layup. John left all alone, cans it.
And more threes, more threes, more threes. This game has quickly jumped to an 8-point lead for Manchester in the blink of 2 minutes.
Well, since that timeout where the Eagles were up 30-27, Manchester has put up 18 points in just a blink of an eye. And this time it's Carey with his second offensive foul of the night. You can almost see that coming.
Yeah, he baited that one in. As he gets a breather really quick. And again, just the depth of this Manchester team as Mitchell is now coming back in with fresh legs.
More firepower from Manchester, and this is a team earlier in the season that was disconnected. A lot of one-on-one hero ball. The defense was non-existent. Well, all of that has been tidied up along with the offensive talent. And boy, they are a team to be reckoned with, as you see. 3-point percentage there from both teams.
Yeah, the Eagles are not shooting it well. They haven't taken many. 10 isn't many, but on the returning in, Manchester 6 of 18. And honestly, it's playing into their favor, but the fast break points are what jumps out of the chalk to you. 14-2. Again, they are, whether that ball goes in the basket or not, they are pushing the tempo and making the Eagles have to run back and set up their defensive transition, or they're getting a layup out of it.
You know what came to my mind in trying to describe Manchester? Pew!
Perfect, though.
Just gone.
Perfect.
Like,
they're like dash.
whether the ball goes through the hoop or not.
Yeah, they're out and running. And it suits them. It suits their lineup. It suits their depth. It suits everything about that organization. So if they can keep the tempo on, it's going to be a long night here for the Eagles.
Well, Eagles looking to go into the half with a little momentum as Manchester comes on the floor with fresh bodies. Manchester ball here.
You can tell they're a team that doesn't even think twice about foul trouble. They just play.
Well,
that's 3 on Christian James. Maybe 2.
Well, the Newcastle had fouls to give, but that's not the guy that you want picking up the foul.
Again, yeah, that is his 3rd foul. The charge was his 2nd, and that reach in there. So we will not be seeing Christian James for the remainder of this half, unfortunately.
Here's DeBose. Getting to the left, flips it up with the right. FJ unable to finish. Pitch ahead to Ward Hibbert. Great decision there by the veteran. As Eagles will hold for 1.
And this is the matchup Trey Pulliam looks like he likes.
Well, FJ known for his defense. Little shake and bait. Great defense there by FJ, but getting the whistle, and Pulliam will head to the line. Well, excuse me.
That is FJ's 3rd foul of the half.
I mean, really impressive by the footwork defensively there on a smaller guard.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately for him, he caught a little bit of the body and sent Trey Pulliam to the free throw line. But yeah, he's moving his feet very well. You can tell he's comfortable guarding guards for sure.
Well, FJ was brought in as the starting big man for Manchester weeks ago. But then here's the arrival of Zahorde, but it's been Del Pesh that seems to have outplayed all two, excuse me.
Yeah,
with 3.2 seconds, DeBose looking to heave it. And that's how things will end here in Newcastle with Manchester 45 and the Newcastle Eagles 39. If you could sum things up, Ron, how would you sum up that first half?
Rebound, 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 rebound. As we see Coach Mandalay imploding to Cal Carey right now. And that's somebody that's had a great half. But again, so the expectations have been raised for Manchester basketball. But one thing out of this half you have to take away from it is the rebounds and the fast break points that they have got on the Newcastle Eagles. It's something that the Eagles need to talk about and fix at halftime, like I've stated. And if not, it's going to be a hard task to get a win over them.
Well, the hottest team in the SLB, fresh off a Coaches of the Month award, Coach Mandalay. Here's your stats from the first half. Both teams even from the field, but it's the Manchester with the extra 3 threes that's been the difference so far.
Yeah, I mean, if you're just looking at the shooting, it's not that much of a discrepancy besides the 3-pointers. Obviously, free throws are pretty even, and so are the field goals. But again, the discrepancy comes in the rebound battle. They are just relentlessly crashing the offensive rebound, and it's a 15 difference. So it's 28-13 right now in favor of Manchester. So if they can fix that up, the Eagles will have a better shot because they're only down 6 points. So 2-possession game with that many different rebounds, you fix that up, you're in good form for the second half.
Well, you talked about the pace of Manchester, just pace and space and let go the first opportunity you get.
Yeah, I mean, and it goes to show that Coach Mandalay is imploring them to shoot more threes because they're taking them as they come. They're not selfishly taking them, they're just taking them as they come in the flow of the offense. And it comes with playing at that fast pace.
How do you defend that?
First off, you have to, if you score, it makes it easy, and if you get back on defense, it makes it a lot harder for them to shoot those. But again, if the offense is hunting threes, then it either can go one of two ways. You can live by the three or die by the three. But right now, they're dying by the three, if you ask me. Excuse me, living by the three, if you ask me.
Well, the Eagles seem to have a little bit more juice in the tank than they did a couple of days ago when they were returning from Slovakia. But they got a little bit of work to do here in the second half if they're going to overcome this deep, talented Manchester squad who is just, at the moment, rolling and with their eyes to climb up the table. Well, sit back and enjoy our halftime show as we got the SLB Plays of the Week.
A new dawn rises, where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Basketball is the second most played sport by young people in the UK. And this is a great opportunity for us to engage the younger generation in being more sustainable, recycling more, and ultimately reducing waste and protecting the environment.
Away in the trash can and throwing this away in the trash can, you're doing it in the right place. You're composting, you're recycling, you're reducing, reusing. It's just super important to learn that from a young age because you carry that into your adult life.
I majored in marine science and I minored in sustainability. So it's actually really exciting to see us partner with a company who is really invested in sustainability.
I think it's fantastic. FIFA is such a quality name in the waste and sustainability sector. We're a quality name in our sector. They're very much about community. We're very much about community. So I think it's going to be a great partnership.
Lewis to Robinson under the basket, and Robinson rocking the rim.
Sandy in the lane. Shot doesn't go. Begovic saves it. Holloway got it. That's another time he's done that at the shot clock. Holloway drives to the hoop, rejected by Thompson. Just get it out of here.
Wow, great help defense there from the big man.
Round the screen for Mitchell, lobs it up, and Del Pesh at the rim. Marcus Del Pesh getting the crowd on their feet.
And it's blocked again by Dame Medelican for his fourth of the night.
Well, Dame Medelican's just waiting for those guys down there. You know, if you're going to keep trying to bully yourself down there, he's just going to wait to throw it away.
Charles Thompson to the basket, dunks it home off the assist from Zach Jackson. What a finish.
What a pass there by Zach Jackson. Just seeing the opening. Thompson all the way to the basket for easy slam.
Raiders lead by 6. Fine to Barnes, what a dish from Fagbenley.
And that's more like it. The Gladiators, last 2 possessions, just moving the ball a little bit better.
And there's a great pass, and no mistake this time for Damon Delican as he rocks the rim.
Shot clock running down. Needs to say inside to Shelton with the throwdown. Felt like a broken play, but there was Duke Shelton.
Wow, Duke Shelton slams it home.
Why is there getting a chance to go into this? Louis hands it off. Oh, and Lewis, the one-handed slam.
Statue of Liberty dunk from Lewis right there.
Zahari finds the line, it's blocked by Hadzopegovic. Wow, good timing. And at the other end, Hadzopegovic with the finish.
Outstanding work from the big fella, from defense to offense, running the floor. Wonderful job from him.
Viscus goes up against Fraser Malcolm as Spielman comes across.
He comes with that big volleyball spike there, and Spielman was just licking his lips, waiting for this one.
Kayo attacking James, flips it down to Del Pesh, who hammers it home.
Hadzopegovic calling for it, collects. Too strong, gets his own rebound, blocked by Delican. Huge rejection from Dame Delican, and Gooden at the other end. What a start from Surrey.
I tell you what a start. Humongous block denied at the ring by Delican. Wow.
Ray. From the foul line is short, gets his own rebound. And a bit of English and gets it to go.
Wow. Oh, well in Dervish there. Take me to the circus, John.
Lanutis for 3. Back iron, long rebound. Jackson pumps it forward to Shelton, who will reverse jam it.
Put a little bit of extra sauce on that one.
Stolen away, runs it back, behind the back to Wright, who jams it in.
What a great decision from Hunter. Larry Austin Jr. chasing him down, goes behind the back, and those are good minutes now.
Needs a foul, need a foul. Oh, it's a steal instead, even better. And what a monster jam, what a monster jam from Rees. It's not quite done yet. It's got to Groves. Oh, he thought he was going to shoot it. He didn't. McGill does shoot it. McGill. Oh, what a job from Ricky McGill. This is an unbelievable game. Ricky McGill ties the scores at 87.
Everyone on their feet. Ashton Langford still has it. Kayo
goes to the basket, puts it up, puts it in with 1.4 remaining. Huge finish.
Nickerson is right in his face. He gets slapped in the face. Man, he's had an outstanding game.
Where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball. A new dawn is here.
Welcome back to Newcastle, where it's the Manchester basketball with the early 6-point lead here at Virtue Motors Arena. And you talked about that point guard matchup, Pulliam, but it was Ashton Langford, 13 points in that first half, Ron.
Yeah, 13 points, but the biggest thing for me that jumps off the page is the efficiency of it. 5 of 7, and really 3 of 4 from 3. He is just having his way and doing it with a lot of poise for the Manchester basketball.
Well, last week, he was a pest in the Eagles' paint, but tonight he got the party started from beyond the arc.
Yeah, I mean, he showed last week that he can knock down that 3-ball as well, but tonight he's letting the Eagles see it in full form, that he is more than willing to shoot that 3-point shot and do it consistently at that.
Well, 3 of 4 from beyond the arc for Ashton Langford. For the Newcastle Eagles, Mark Studel, what is required from the Eagles if they're going to walk away out of here with a win?
First off, you have to patch up that rebound discrepancy. You have to do something to keep them off the boards. Do real box outs, talk about box outs, whatever you have to do. And then from there, limit the fast break points if you're the Eagles, if you want to have a real shot at winning this game tonight.
Well, Manchester basketball, 15 up, and 10 of those are offensive rebounds. You see the fast break points there. Talk really shows the pace that Manchester is playing with. And here's your leading scorers of the night. Akaru and James doing the heavy lifting, chipped in by Ward Hibbert. But then for Manchester, it's just the efficiency.
Yeah, 71%. I'm in awe of that, because that's something that is not easy to do as a basketball player on any type of level.
Well, not as a guard, as a little guard.
That is very true. He's a very efficient guard, and I think he's made a home here in Virtue. He loves this gym because he plays very well every time he steps in it.
Well, Manchester leading the series 2-1 with an opportunity to win the head-to-head as Manchester rolls out the same lineup who got the start here. And same with the Newcastle Eagles.
And saying all that, the Eagles, again, are only down 6 points. That's something that they can be very happy about, but not satisfied.
Well, Eagles ball as they look to strike first. Great offensive set, which frees up Akaru, but a great close out there by Kayo. Ward Hibbert up the long. Long, seeing an array of bodies in the paint. Ward Hibbert.
And the Eagles are playing good basketball right now. They're sharing the ball. They're getting offensive rebounds. That's one way to limit it. Get your own offensive rebounds.
Well, here it is. Just like they drew it up out the half.
Yeah, Mike Akaru didn't make the first one out of the half, but knocks down that. And you credit those loose balls rebounds for that opportunity.
Ashton Langford. Stolen by Ward Hibbert. Money man with the Michael Jackson spins, takes the contact and count the bucket.
That's the intensity that's needed right now if you're the Eagles fans. You have to be proud of how they started this third quarter.
Well, it's him right there. Cash, no checks. Money Mike. with an opportunity with 6 quick points out the gate.
Yeah, and this, just like that 6-point lead has evaporated and is now just a 2-point lead, a 1-point lead, excuse me, by Manchester.
Well, after going scoreless in the first quarter, all of a sudden, Micah Cowell with 14 points in 9 minutes.
And the Eagles are on the 6-0 run right now. Credit to their defense.
And here's Zahore with the nice finish inside.
Manchester going with a little show and hedge there as their defensive strategy.
Nice ghost screen from Defoe. Way off on that attempt. Ashton Langford, we talked about that pace. Over to Irving. Can't finish. Oh, wow. Akaru spinning, gets to the left, takes the contact, and he's starting to stir up the pot a little bit.
Yeah, he's coming out into that bag, starting to open up a little bit more. It's basically unzipped at this point. He has the first 6 to start this quarter.
Well, Micah Caro, the leading scorer this season, and also a trophy MVP in the locker after that great performance there in Birmingham.
Yeah, he's a one-of-one type of player, and it's been a privilege to watch throughout the course of this season. He's put on many magnificent performances here for the Eagles.
Well, you can anticipate a bounce-back game after only 4 points against the Sheffield Sharks. You knew he was going to come back striking tonight. Crowd chants defense. KO, who's been quiet, gets to his spin cycle, short.
And the Eagles are quietly putting together many stops right now. Multiple stops in a row.
Cole Long, his favorite spot on the court, and you can ring that up, baby.
And the Eagles now have the lead.
But here's Ashton Langford, just like that. 6 seconds off the shot clock. Kind of reminds you of the Phoenix Suns when they had the philosophy of 7 seconds or less with D'Antoni and Steve Nash.
Yeah, I mean, the freedom that he has to just push the tempo must be very nice, and it's been rewarding for this basketball program.
Ashton Langford makes his first trip to the free throw line tonight. Beautiful performance on Sunday against Cheshire. 19 points, 10 dimes to go along with it. Misses both.
And the Eagles right here have an opportunity to capitalize as they enter the horn set.
Pulliam, we talked about that matchup, gets right downhill, a little roly-poly. Manchester back on the loose. Flip it over to Mitchell, wide open from the top of the key. And Eagles dodge a bullet with one of the league-leading three-point shooters wide open.
Yeah, that's a great look there. Again, Coach Mandalay would not be upset about that opportunity.
Eagles with a 2-point lead. Ashton Langford off a triple screen. Ghost screen from Mitchell. Gets downhill in the chest of Ward Hibbert and finishes with the left hand.
It amazes me because I forget how tall Mitchell actually is until he does things like that. And a quick reminder of actually this guy is very skilled and very tall, but just can shoot the ball very well.
Well, a legit 6'8" with length. And great shooting touch from outside.
The ball sticking on that possession for the Eagles.
Mitchell looking to use Zahore, pitches it to KO, spins into Defoe. Ashton Langford, great defense again by Newcastle.
Great defense by the Eagles there. Darius Defoe with the immediate help once he saw Cole Long being driven on and plugged that space up very nicely. Another stop.
Manchester's 6 for 20 from downtown. As we're locked horns here in the third quarter.
I'd like to see Trey Pulliam get all the way to the rim there.
Here's Defoe going to the fade and count it.
Big time shot there by Mr. 28 himself.
Such a tough shot over a large defender of Zahorde. Zahorde looking nice, drop off to Irving. And that's what I talked about, the passing touch from the big fella.
Yeah, he plays a very high IQ basketball game in his mind. You can tell nothing speeds him up really. Easy read there for the jump off.
Long somehow controls it. Back in the hands of Akaru, showing off the ball handling. And gives Irvin a facial from downtown. Tough shot.
That's a very tough shot. Big time basket there by Michael Karu.
Ashton Langford right back downhill. Zahorde letting it go. And he is way off to the left. And I think that's an attempt that the Eagles would live with here. And that will see Zahorde head to the bench. 0 for 3 from beyond the arc this season. I'm pretty sure that's not something that's in the coach's playbook.
Yeah, I'm not sure though, Drew, because honestly, I've seen now Delpesh as well as Zahorde take those threes as Mitchell rises up for another one.
Well, Delpesh, immediate impact off the bench.
And it's obvious this team's DNA is just more threes, fast-paced, more threes, fast-paced. They're on their analytics program schedule.
Nice drive and kick there. Great job by Pulliam to keep it alive. Akaru this time short again.
And they're off to the races.
Mitchell steps through the defense, floats it up, tipped up.
Good defense there by the Eagles. Which
Pulliam off to the loose, drops it off to Ward Hibbert.
Great unselfish play there by Trey Pulliam. Reading the game well. We have ourselves a ball game, Drew.
Things starting to pick up as the fans chant for defense. Mitchell back downhill to the left, drops it off. Delpesh takes the contact and one.
Good patience there and good response by Manchester basketball. This quarter has seen the Eagles come to life now. They're getting stops, they're playing well on defense, and it's leading a lot of opportunities on offense.
Well, Marcus Delpesh, the twin brother of Newcastle Eagles Malcolm Delpesh, 13.6 rebounds off the bench last week. So far here tonight, 8 points, 4 for 5, including 3 rebounds.
Yeah, he's having himself another great game, just like last week.
Including this shooting touchdown, the free throw as well. Akaru with the stampede dribble, drops it off the long, and he'll finish things off.
I love that action by the Eagles. Caused a lot of confusion from Manchester.
And here's Ashton Langford, who sneaks in the right hand.
Yeah,
both teams going blow for blow, Ron.
Yeah, it's which team is going to break first right now. The Eagles are in control of this basketball game, if you ask me, after they started this third quarter well.
This time it's Allen Aikens who answers back.
Yeah, they're finding loopholes in this Giants defense and taking advantage. But can you stop this guy right now?
The Bows skip past to KO. Again, Delpesh on the offensive glass, and it will be an unsportsmanlike foul on Trey Pulliam as Delpesh takes one to the face, and These are the type of play, these are momentum changers. Plays that could be avoided.
Yeah, that hurts right now. Was it 2 free throws and the basketball?
You got the rebound there. It's your ball, your opportunity to get your biggest lead of the night.
It was right in front of the referee's eyes.
Well, that will be Trey Pulliam's second foul. And if you want anyone shooting these unsportsmanlike free throws, it is Del Pesh. Only 51% on the season. But we've talked about his stellar play as of late. And right now, that looks flawless.
It does. It does. Maybe it's because his twin brother's on the bench looking at him. You know they have a little rivalry going on between themselves.
I understand his mom is in town as well.
Yeah, she's up there in the north stand, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe I have my directions all off, but I can see her straight ahead.
Well, he splits the 2, and the ball will remain here. We talked about the momentum shift. There's his twin brother right there, Malcolm, out for the season with the patella surgery a few weeks ago. Big blow for the Eagles. Here's John. DeBose matched up, flies it up. Big time bucket by Ian DeBose.
Wow, I mean, you can tell by himself he didn't know that was gonna go. There's a delay of game warning, but what a big time shot there by Ian DeBose.
And that unsportsmanlike foul on Pulliam turned into 4 points for Manchester. Take another look. Big time shot by Ian DeBose.
And we have a correction. Sorry, Trey Pulliam, that is his 4th foul of this contest. And we have another quarter to go after this one.
This time the shot clock runs down for the Eagles, but it's Cody John on the receiving end of that foul. Manchester up 62-60. If you want to know what's happening across town, the Riders holding on to a 5-point lead as they look to keep their title hopes alive. But right now, it's about the mid-table action here as Newcastle and Manchester in action.
Big possession here from the Eagles, 13 on the shot clock. I'm sure Mike Karu will be willing to take this shot.
He gets switched on with DeBose. Great hands there by Irving.
And there they go, off to the races.
Great pass in to Del Pesh, who blows the left-hand layup. Allen Aikens. Well short on that attempt. Manchester back in business. Cody John.
And the Eagles are very fortunate these last 2 possessions. Manchester has gone a little bit cold. What a big time 3 from Allen Aikens. You can see it as it left his hand. That was going in. Great pass, great shot.
Great response from the rookie. John kind of weaves away from traffic, but's met by Ward Hibbert and takes the contact, and he'll head to the line for continuation.
It's a great patient move there by Cody John, the guy with 2 first names. Love that. But a great move there and a great finish to draw the and one.
Here's Effigy, usually brought in for defensive purposes.
As you see Cody John go to the free throw line here. Manchester holds a 1-point lead.
And the Eagles very fortunate on that possession as Manchester maintains a 1-point lead.
The defense by Kyle Carey there to deny Micah Karu.
James in a jam, 5-second call.
That's great defense there by Kyle Carey. I mean, listen, he's doing things that we speak about a lot that don't show up on the stat sheet, as you see some frustration boiling over here by the Eagles.
Well, Christian James with neon and orange sneakers to make sure he keeps everyone happy here. But FJ back inside, and that'll be an easy call on Ward Hibbert, and FJ will head to the line.
And for the moment, the Virtue Motors Arena is subdued and quiet.
FJ 72% on the season.
We got a variety of colors of shoes right now, Drew. Everybody's shoes is just speaking to me. I see some lavender on the floor. We got Christian James with the different color shoes, some red, some teal. Easter's in season.
It is indeed. Allen Ikens over to a wide open Ward Hibbert. Nothing but the bottom of the net.
And that's a big time pass there by Allen Ikens. Way to not be selfish.
And DeBose this time is Micah Karu taking the charge. That might be the game's 5th charge here tonight.
Yeah, teams are willing to put their bodies on the line this evening.
Both teams going back and forth as we enter the juiciest part of the season. 10 days until the season finale. You see there, Akaru. I don't know about that one, but I'm sure the home crowd will celebrate it.
And this is where Money Mike gets his name. Great recognition by the Manchester basketball.
And a flop warning there on FJ as Allen Ikens able to finish things off. DeBose takes the contact, hangs, and FJ cleans up the mess at the buzzer.
Wow. He brought that one out. That looked like Montrezl Harrell right there for a second, Drew. Wow.
Well, that will close things off here as 30 minutes expires off the clock, and we're exactly how we started things, tied. A big 4th quarter coming up. Mark Studel and company. Got to be excited about how they finished that 3rd quarter, but not finishing off with a box out on FJ.
Yeah, I mean, going into that 3rd quarter, the Eagles were down 6, and they fixed the rebounding situation a little bit, but again, it's allowed them to become battle tested and find themselves back into this ball game. They're also shooting a higher percentage from 2 right now, and from the floor. So Eagles are in good form right now heading to the 4th quarter if they can keep a good grasp on this game.
Well, a final 10 minutes here in Newcastle as both teams are locking horns in. We take a look at the top scorers, and it's Micah Karu with 18. Ashton Langford only 2 points in that 3rd quarter, but Del Pesh really stepping up off the bench.
Yeah, we see a lot from Del Pesh. He's played really well in the previous week and also tonight, just doing the little things coming off the bench. But it all starts and ends with Ashton Langford, if you ask me. So obviously took a little bit of a breather to end that 3rd quarter, and we'll be back we'll be back at some point in this 4th quarter. and in order to close this game out for Manchester basketball.
Well, I mean, we're only like 5 minutes late with the chuck-a-duck. I mean,
wait.
You got your wish there, Ron.
Can I chuck it?
Ron has been asking for a chuck-a-duck all season, but a little bit too late. They pulled away the flag there for us. And
I kind of want to chuck it right now just because, but I know I'll get it.
We just missed the train there. We were running towards the door, and they closed the door right in front of our face, man.
Literally, that's actually happened to me before, by the way. That's a bad story. I do not want to touch on it. Can we get a camera pan to this duck that I have in my hand? I'm loving it right now. I'm just going to keep it. Might not
as we enter the final 10 minutes, give us your prediction. Who does this game favor, Ron?
Right now, the momentum is definitely on the Eagles' side, but Manchester is another good team that's come to life late down the stretch of this season. So right now, I'm going to say the Eagles are going to come out and win this game, but Manchester may think differently.
Well, a bold prediction from Ron as the Bulls says, hold my beer.
Yeah, maybe I spoke too soon, but we'll find out. It's 9:34 left to play.
Big time bucket by the former Gladiator. Here's a Karu. James able to free himself in the corner. Comes up short.
Manchester again off to the races.
Cody John.
Good defense without fouling there.
Pitches it ahead to Ward Hibbert. Nice cut by James. Decides to get the offense organized.
Yeah, would like to see him pass that ball to a cutting Christian James.
Great pass from Defoe, who hits Ward Hibbert in the corner.
Big time shot by Josh Ward Hibbert. He's sneaking into that MVP conversation with a smooth 15 points, if I'm not mistaken.
Both teams battling out and locking horns here in Newcastle. Here's Carey, drops it off to Effigy, who takes the bump. Well, Effigy finishing things off with a hammer at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah, and that's a tough foul there. That's Christian James' fourth foul. Coach Studel has some thoughts he has to have, or conversations with the assistants. Do you leave him out there right now with how close this game is and how productive he's been?
Well, I think you got to trust your superstar.
Yeah.
This is a big game for Newcastle, and if you put him on the bench, by the time you bring him back, the game might be out of reach.
That is true. In these type of games, that can happen. Trey Pulliam also on 4 fouls, and he's still on the bench as well.
Well, Mark Studel deciding to roll the dice with the Karu, who has 4 fouls. With 8 minutes and 30 seconds here of game time. Tied at 71. Ward Hibbert with a great cut.
Good hands by Ward Hibbert to just secure that.
Shot clock at 4. Akaru.
And Mike is putting the team on his back right now, as you've seen him do in the past. Whoa, look out, Drew.
Well, John thought I was still suiting up as that pass came right to me.
As Ashton Langford checks in. See, one thing I'm noticing about Coach Mandalay and his team is you make a mistake, you have to come sit for a little bit. That's how good this team is. He flexes his depth with that sub.
As Big Sean says, play no games. Speaking of games, here's Allen Aikens looking to dodge the defenders. 2 of them to be exact. Ward Hibbert keeping the ball alive. Again, messy offense for the Eagles. But Deshaun Allen Aikens able to put a little shine to it.
A little bit of shine to it. That's not bad there by Deshaun. Great hands by Darius Defoe. And here come the Eagles.
Around the back,
hey!
Here's Christian King James, who hangs on the rim. Great job of it. Here's another great defensive possession from the Eagles. This time an offensive foul on Effigy. Eagles defense really stepping up here. Biggest lead of the night at 7. Crowd getting into it.
The momentum is definitely in the Eagles' favor right now.
Pulliam there, 6 points, but more importantly, 4 fouls. He'll probably spend a little bit more time there, but that decision to leave Akaro in has paid dividends for Mark Studel. Here's James with the hezzy pull-up right in the eye of Del Pesh.
That's a big-time bucket there by Christian James. You can tell he is fired up right now. And Manchester looks a little bit routed right now.
Here's Defoe matched up on Ashton Langford. Skip past the DeBose. Over the top into Irvin, and that will be Micah Karu's 5th, and that is a terrible decision. Oh, excuse me.
Christian
It's
James.
Christian James, excuse me, with 4. Excuse me. That's only the 3rd foul on Akaru. Well, let's pump the brakes here for a minute as we call for time, and the crowd here at Virtue Motors Arena really starting to pump up the volume.
Yeah, and as they should. This Eagle fan base has been waiting to have something to cheer about, and the Eagles have come out this 4th quarter at the gates with fire, and they're playing really good basketball right now.
Well, if the Eagles are able to hold on, this will be a huge, huge win for Newcastle, but it was that defense there. In the 4th, only 3 points from Manchester, but most importantly, Darius Defoe, again, with every record in the record book, 1 steal away from tying Drew Lasker for 7th all time.
He's on his way, Drew. He's on his way. One more.
Well, before the game, I'm not trying to hold on to it. I encouraged him to get it.
You did.
I told him we needed 2 steals tonight, and with that strip a couple of possessions ago, was able to get to 6-18 all time.
That's a lot of steals.
Right now, he's just being greedy with all of the
other
records
accolades
in our league.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he's at the top 10 in everything.
I think he wants to finish that way.
I don't blame him. Eat it all. Don't leave no crumbs on the plate, big fella. Well, Manchester in a hole here, down 10 after a 31-point victory last week, only giving up 69 points, but giving up 81 points with 6 minutes to spare. Here's Mitchell, doubled in the corner. Akaru, and this time I'm correct. This 4 fouls, that's 2 quick ones on Money Mike.
Yeah, what we don't want to see is if Micah Karu and the rest of the Eagles faithful in foul trouble if this game happens to go to overtime. Does not favor the Eagles. Uphill battle for the for Manchester basketball right now, excuse me.
Ashton Langford. Kayo getting downhill over to Del Pesh. Again, Del Pesh, has been excellent tonight.
Yeah, he saw Darius Defoe go and help, and he did that undercut underneath the basket. Great cut by Del Pesh. Manchester basketball need to stop.
Lead down to 8, and Del Pesh just getting his hand in the cookie jar there as he gets a reaching foul on Christian James.
That's only their 2nd foul of the quarter, and Del Pesh's 1st.
Manchester, hottest team in the SLB. Winners out of 9 out of their last 10 games. The Newcastle Eagles looking to play spoiler here at home. 6 minutes to go. Christian James back over to Allen Ikens. And Darius Defoe with the big-time rebound.
Are they giving credit to Darius, or they're going to give that to Josh? I think that's an interesting one.
Here's Akaru. James, 3 on the clock, rises over the defense. No. Manchester on the move. Ashton Langford.
Tons of time left if you're the Giants.
Again, Del Pesh, great extra pass out to Kayo.
For all my viewers, excuse me for continuing to say Giants. I'm so used to it. but for Manchester basketball.
Well, an 8-point Newcastle lead, and Akaru will take a, I would have to assume, a short break there as Pulliam returns with 4 fouls. Here's Trey.
Looks like a...
Spins off the defense, nowhere to go. Somehow finds Ward Hibbert. Manchester gets their stop. Ashton Langford. Kayo guarded by Ward Hibbert, but it was the outstretched hand of Allen Ikens that possibly caused the turnover. Refs will talk it over. And they will go to the jump ball, and the possession favors the Eagles. Great defensive stop there from Newcastle.
Newcastle has buckled down in this fourth quarter and consistently gotten stops and rebounds when they needed it to.
Trey Pulliam as we enter the final 5 minutes. Lead by 8.
And the Eagles have to remember here, the clock is your friend.
You have to value possessions, and most importantly, make sure you get good shots every possession. But Mark Studel, speaking of valuing possessions, calls for time, and he will talk things over. You talk about, Ron, the clock is your friend, but we know 5 minutes is a long time, specifically for this Manchester team who plays with pace. So you don't want to play not to lose.
Yeah, definitely. You want to continue to play how you started this quarter, finding the good shot, finding your hot shooters, and getting stops on the other end. But in return, as this clock starts to wind down, you want to be able to value that shot, that shot clock and that game clock, and use it to your advantage.
Well, we talked about the standings earlier today. Leicester Riders still going to battle with Surrey late. 25 seconds left in that matchup. Can they hold on? But the league table, Manchester 14-14, sitting at 4th. The Eagles 11-16, 1 spot out of 8, but a win today will push them back into 5th place. Just an exciting finish we have on the horizon.
Yeah, it's a very competitive league from top to bottom in one way or another.
Let's see what Mark Studel and co has in store. Huge possession here by Newcastle. James shakes loose.
And that's
Plenty
time
of time
to work. It's time to work. Great defense there without fouling by Del Pesh. I'm sure Christian James would love to have that one back.
Got the shot he wanted. Just couldn't get it to fall. Ashton Langford, great hands there by Allen Ikens again. And great job by James to slow things down. Pulliam. Again, back inside to James. Ward Hibbert. 5 seconds to make a decision. Runs into Del Passion.
The Manchester basketball right now are getting stops, just unable to capitalize offensively. They have dried up. The offense has dried up severely for them.
Well, here's Allen Ikens, who finishes things off in transition, but takes a hard foul. Fall on the way down, just shaking up a little bit. Great sportsmanship there by Cody John. Big time finish to push the lead back up to 10.
We have now hit crunch time. It is go time for Manchester. Eagles have done their part and gotten stops.
Well, the easiest look of the night from Ashton Langford, and you spoke of offense drying up. It's done just that.
Yeah, Manchester just cannot put the ball in the basket on this end right now.
Trey Pulliam, guarded by Mitchell. Again, crowd counting down the clock, running out of real estate. 2 seconds on the clock. Lil Hezzo, nowhere to go, drops it off to James.
It's the consistent stop and goes that just keep you off balance. You don't ever know when he's getting to that shot motion or not. Great play by Trey Pulliam.
And John unable to finish the up and under. Eagles up 12. Splits the defense, but Manchester with a foul to give. Wow. We've talked about the schedule, the traveling. 10 games in 23 days. But this version of the Eagles is what we saw in the European Northern Basketball League.
And what we saw to start the season, for the majority of the season until of late, it's a team that when battle tested in the backs against the wall, they rise to the occasion consistently.
Struggling domestically, only one win out of their last 10 games, and they've pretty much free fall down the championship table as we take a look as the top scorers of the night. This one would be a huge win without Seneca Knight as well.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, 2:57 left, up 12. A lot of time to play, but the Eagles have full control of this basketball game.
You see the foul trouble there from Newcastle. Akaru, James, along with Pulliam, all on 4 fouls. In the meantime, Manchester seems to be in the clear in that category. Only Effigy with 4. Mike Akaru, 20 points, bouncing back from Sunday's 4-point performance. Can he bring the bacon home?
Yeah, just the body language of Manchester right now does not seem positive. A lot of complaints being had, but ultimately the offense has just dried up for them in this 4th quarter.
Only 5 points here in 7 minutes for Manchester basketball. Here's the Eagles. Pulliam with a fresh 14. Gets his switch. A little stop and go action. James trying to pull the dagger out. Puts it back in the pocket.
The big stop, but Manchester has to play with pace right now.
Ashton Langford again, trying his luck again, well short. And the offense for Manchester has been non-existent.
Wow.
He steps on the line there.
Wasn't called though. But the Eagles are doing a great job actually of clock management. Great pass.
Ward Hibbert ready to get this crowd on their feet. Manchester still with life. And it's Ward James who swats it away. Eagles with another stop. Manchester running out of time here. Pulliam, 7 on the clock, calls for a 1-4 low. Dances, shake and bake, rises over. Tipped up by Allen Ikens, retrieves the rebound. Probably needs to kick it out, but he says, you know what? Never mind.
Great time, big time rebound there by Allen Ikens. As a sub is being given to the Eagles, Mike Akaru checks back in for Christian James, as well as Cole Long for Darius Defoe.
Well, the Eagles up by 14. As we see that big-time block by James, and then it's Allen Ikens there doing the dirty work. And you can see the frustration there on the bench of Manchester. Final minute 20 as Lewis Weaver, who got his first point of his career last week. Ron, as the Eagles looking to pull away, we got to have that MVP conversation now. Some great performances throughout the Newcastle Eagles roster.
Yeah, and in my honest opinion, it has to be Josh Ward-Hibbert today. I mean, his index jumps off the chart, his plus and minus jumps off the chart, and he's played an efficient game quietly on his way to a double-double.
Well, Mitchell, again, as things have dried up for Manchester, 5 points. Ward-Hibbert, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals.
He's done a
just
bit of it
getting
all.
it done.
Yeah, he's just done a bit of it all.
Michael Carew chipping in with 20 points, but things not done here yet as Manchester answers back with a 3.
But the Eagles have had their way with Manchester in this fourth quarter. They've executed the game plan beautifully, and when it came down to it, they made the bigger shots.
Well, shot clock issue.
22, 23, I think.
As the refs look to get that sorted out, and Coach Studel asking for 22 seconds. I'm sure he would love that, as that would mean let's get up out of here with a victory.
Same with Mike. Mike, right there, stack. Off to Sean, off to Sean.
Well, they'll have 2.3 seconds instead. Oh, excuse me.
16.
6 seconds. There we go. We got there in the end. Well, Studel looking for a little bit of payback from last week, and he is coaching every angle of this game.
Every second from start to finish. That's what you love if you're the Newcastle Eagles faithful. You have to appreciate that from your coach. Leave no stones unturned.
Well, he knows how important these moments are. They're always teaching points. As you like to assume, with the parity within the league, the matchups are going to be extremely tight as we inch our ways to the playoffs. The Newcastle Eagles mascot and fans in the building feeling good as they're moments away from celebrating one of the biggest wins in 2025, but Manchester still coaching things up as well. Lewis Weaver, the young player there from Manchester, getting his first career point last week. You have to assume that Manchester's almost put up the white flag here.
Yeah, it's late. They're going to continue to fight, but this game is all but done.
Nice
Wow.
little hesitation from Pulliam. Drops it off to Cole Long, who finishes things off, and more importantly, might have finished off Manchester basketball here.
I mean, just wow. You know the hezzy is coming, but there's nothing you can do about it in real time.
The Bulls with nowhere to go, but picks up a blocking foul there. And I think the reason why the hesitation from Pulliam is so difficult to deal with is because he has the hesitation pull-up.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, and that is a big reason. And he loves it as well. That's his go-to in the mid-range.
Ian DeBose will head to the line for 2 free throws to just soften things up here as the Eagles put the SLB back on notice. Back to your regular schedule program after losing 9 out of 10 games. And This should be the final possession for the Newcastle Eagles tonight, as the entire building gets on their feet to show appreciation. Alan Aikens steps back 35 feet. And look at there, Ward Hibbert.
It's all the hustle plays. He makes them all. A true Swiss Army knife, and well-deserving of the game's MVP this evening.
There's Effigy here off the glass, and that will wrap things up as the Newcastle Eagles pull off a stunning victory here at home, 89-80 against the hottest team in the SLB. And this crowd is on their feet. Mark Studel pleased with that performance, along with the fans. Terrific performance from the Eagles. 5 guys in double figures. Micah Carborough leading the troops with 20 points, along with 5 rebounds. Cole Long chipping in with 13 and 6 rebounds as well. Alan Aikens, big play after big play, adding in 16, but then Christian James providing that spark plug off the bench with 17 and 5 rebounds. Manchester basketball, you haven't seen that look on their face in quite some time, as they have been rolling, but tonight was all about Manchester. About the Eagles, excuse me. And that man right there, Mark Studel. There's the captain, Darius Defoe. Well, the final stats of the night, as the Eagles struggle from beyond the arc all evening, was able to win that battle along with the efficiency from the free throw line. They lost on the rebounding battle, but it was the 21 assists that got them back into it. Well, we talked about the performances from the Eagles, but it was one man and one man only. Josh Ward Hibbert with a terrific all-around game defensively, but offensively, 15 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, and he is the star of the night. He's with Ron.
This is the worst. This is the worst part. All right, I'm here with Josh Ward Hibbert. Josh, first off, great performance tonight. You did it all on the floor. Tough win, first of all. How does it feel to beat one of the hottest teams in the SLB right now?
Yeah, I think everyone knew coming in like how hot, as you said, Manchester has been, and they're putting some great performances. But I think still to this day, I think we've got a lot of belief in our team, and we've had a tough schedule, but we've had a couple of days off, and I think everyone was like ready to go, right some wrongs from last week, and put in a good performance, and I think we all did that.
You definitely did. And what can we look forward to on Monday against the matchup with, forget who, but what can we look forward to on Monday with the next matchup?
You know what, just hard work and hard fight. I think that's what we did today. We worked hard on and off the ball, both sides, and that's the same thing we're going to try and do on Monday. Just work hard, play for each other, and try to get a win for everyone.
Thank you. Well, thank you for bearing with me with that win. Good job, great win. And now we're followed by Coach Studel. First off, Coach Studel, great win today. You're down 6 at halftime. Please walk us through what you talked to the guys about and how you got it to perform so well in the second half.
I thought the first half we were solid in a lot of areas. Probably a 2-minute spell right before the break there where our transition defense wasn't great. For sure, we gave them too many offensive rebounds in that first half. We tightened that up a little bit. I thought a lot of our looks were solid in the first half. We shot the ball a bit better in the second half from 3. I thought we got a good job on paint touches, and our spacing was a little bit better offensively. The biggest thing, the guys fought. You know, the guys are beat up this time of the year, you'd imagine that, but I thought the guys fought. Really proud of them.
Well, great win. Looking forward to Monday.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks, guys.
Well, pre-game, Mark Studel talked about the schedule, but more importantly, the injuries. But he's a man that doesn't allow excuses. to come to the surface as his Newcastle Eagles bounce back dead in the water 6 days ago. But it was that defense that stood up tall here tonight. Manchester scoring 90 points here on Friday, but what a second half performance, holding Manchester to 35 points in that second half. A beautiful all-around performance as the Eagles are back to winning ways. It was a 21 assists from Newcastle. The sharing of the basketball, and that reflected in the score box. 5 guys in double figures. Again, we talked about James off the bench. Well, a lot of questions to be answered in the SLB as we are 10 days away from the playoffs. Well, all smiles here for the Newcastle Eagles players. We haven't seen that look on their face in quite some time, but winning heals everything. Malcolm Del Pesh as well getting in on the things. Well, let's take a look at the fixtures around the league. Leicester Riders still keeping things interesting at the top of the championship standings. But we got you covered all weekend. We got action on Good Friday. Keep your eyes on that Sheffield-London matchup. That should clear things up. But then on Sunday, we get back at it. Finally finishing things off here on Monday when the Eagles host the Bristol Flyers. Well, as we say every week, don't miss that dial. Keep locked in on SLB action. But from Virtue Motors Arena, myself, Drew Lasker, Ron Blaine, we say goodnight and see you next time.
Where champions emerge and redefine the game, where limits are tested and greatness is unleashed. This is when legends are born. Super League Basketball, a new dawn is here.